Yeah.
All right, welcome back.
Hello.
Segment 3, Episode 8. I am Mr. John Robert Quinn. I'm sitting across from Bradley in Meyer, not to be confused with Oscar Meyer.
No.
And I am not to be confused with the Mighty Quinn, even though I am mighty. That was really dumb.
Oscar. Yeah.
Oscar
Every
Quinn.
Thanksgiving, I'm happy they didn't name me Oscar.
All right, so we are talking about
Marketing and different kinds of, like, for real estate agents, for single family, duplex.
well, we talked about segment 1. We talked about your single family.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Multi-unit. So segment 2, we talked about realtors. Segment 3, let's talk about multi-unit. So let's say you've got a small apartment complex, 16 units. Just kind of get the ball rolling.
Well, let me throw in some caveats in there. In California, if it's 15 units or above, you're required to have an on-site manager.
Okay.
So you would make them responsible for some of the marketing stuff.
Okay.
If you're smart and follow some plans that cashcowsystems.org will give you.
Okay.
But let's say you got an 8 or a 12 unit complex, or even a 4 unit. You bought a fourplex.
Okay.
So you're managing it yourself because you're smart, following the systems. Market it pretty much real similar to the same way you would market a single family.
Okay.
One of the things about the smaller multifamily is it's okay to let people drive by because it's an apartment complex, it's expected. And with that and with the other properties, even the single families, try to build a waiting list.
Okay. Okay. How do we go about getting a multi-unit out into the public where it can be trusted as a safe place? I mean, especially, you're not going to find, at least I don't think you would find, an 8-unit property in a nice neighborhood.
Oh, you can.
Okay.
There's some developments that required that when they were building out certain housing tracts throughout the U.S. They required certain number of duplexes for the builder, certain number of fourplexes for the builder. And not every neighborhood that has apartments is a bad neighborhood.
Okay.
No,
you call this bad the neighborhood?
Yeah. This what? You think this bad neighborhood? You got roof.
No, so
more on that later.
Yeah, exactly. Go back to like episode 2 or something.
Yeah.
So there are good neighborhoods that have 6, 8, 10 plexes.
There's good neighborhoods that have 100, 200 unit complexes in them.
Okay.
They're in great neighborhoods. That's just how they were developed.
Okay. So let me ask you, if you've got an 8-plex, right, or 8 unit, and it's in a good neighborhood, is that going to attract the wrong type of people into that neighborhood?
It's going to attract whoever you market it to. And one of the things is you need to set up at the very beginning your rental criteria. How much income do they need to have? What's their credit need to be like? I tend to avoid putting out you need to have a FICO score of a specific number because that thing fluctuates and God only knows how they figure that math out. They don't share it with us. But I do good rental history, fair credit, no evictions, an income of 2.5 to 3 times the monthly rent. And recently I read an article, somebody wrote they were pissed that landlords using the 3 times the monthly rent as a way to, they said, discriminate against people and that people weren't making that kind of money, couldn't rent nice places. I look at it differently.
I look at it as if you're going to get an FHA loan to buy a house, you need to be 42% DTI, and that is 42%. That's including your credit card, your car payment, and the whole thing. So 3 times the rent, that's 30%. That's not including your car payment and all of that. It's about the same.
I look at it this way. How are you, as a landlord, helping somebody if you're letting them rent something that they financially can't afford? You're setting them up to fail.
You're absolutely
You're
right.
not helping them. You're not helping you. You're not helping the other people that
This
live
is what
around.
we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
When I was asking very simple questions about if you're going to bring somebody in to rent the home and you really think that they're a better fit than this other one here, but it doesn't fit in their budget, can we get them in anyway?
It's a personal decision, but I look at it as, are you really helping these people?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So, but back to the marketing part, do the YouTube video, do the Craigslist thing, post it at your church, post it at the local grocery store. Depending on where you're located and your mindset on it, post it at a local college. Grad students, usually more responsible, usually easier to deal with, and usually have a little more income.
Okay, fair enough.
Other than that, it's basically the same, and create a waiting list. And one of the things is if you're looking for a tenant, that means you probably have one leaving. So they're the first resource I go to. Okay, you're leaving. Which one of your friends likes this place?
No, that's actually a great idea.
Because here's what I'll do for you. If you get your friend to rent it, if they qualify, and you get them to move in, not only you get all your security deposit back, because we're going to walk through, make sure it isn't trashed. I'm going to give you $100, and I'm going to give your friend $100 off their first month's rent.
I like that idea.
So,
Well, that saves
so
you.
what did I do? I gave away $200 that I was going to spend on marketing anywhere,
Correct.
that I was going to have in lost rents.
Correct.
I made the tenant do what they agreed to do when they moved in, which was
Just take-
clean the place up for
Yep.
their friend.
Yeah.
Trust me, if it's a young couple, they're not going to leave their friend a trash place
No,
because
no.
they're not going to want to hear about it.
No, of course. No, that's
So
actually
it's
that's
like-
brilliant.
and
I've never thought of that before.
Yeah, and you're one and done.
All right. Well, okay. You know what? Here's what I think. I think that if anybody has anything else they want to know in this episode regarding this subject, go to cashcowsystems.org. Cashcowsystems.org, just like it sounds. All right, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back and wrap up. We'll be right back.